Welcome to this week's Money Alchemy class. I think we're on live. I'm just going to check because last week we didn't end up going into the group. Hopefully, oh yes, finally we're in the group. Yay! It worked. Yes, we're in the group. So last week I recorded a whole live and realized that it didn't stream into the group. It only went into LinkedIn. So this week I'm here. So hope you're all having a fabulous week. If you're on, come and jump on, come and say hello, drop us an emoji. Let us know that that you're here. Let us know where you're based, or if you are watching on the replay, then let us know. You know, if it's on the replay, drop us a comment in the post, drop a hashtag replay in the comments. So I'm also using Restream to go live. So you do need to give Restream permission to see your name. So that we can see who leaves, so we can see your name against the comment. So whoever is on, come and join us. I know quite a lot of people are looking forward to this live because of the topic. I'm just trying to see if we have anybody in. Oh. Sorry, I'll do it on my phone. It's much easier than the other screen. So let's just get started. So yes, if you are new to the group, or if this is the first time that you've joined a live with me, I go live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. to deliver this Money Alchemy class. And I deliver training on different topics such as self-care, marketing, and of course, my favorite topics, money mindset, money habits, money blocks, and pricing. So if you want to catch any of the previous classes, they are located in the guides in the Facebook group, Work-Life Balance Secrets, under the banner where it says guides. So if this is the first time you've joined me, I'm Jenny McCabe, and I'm the go-to money breakthrough coach for women entrepreneurs who want to charge their worth and get it. And because money can be emotional, especially when you don't have enough, I do focus on changing the way women think and feel about money so that they can heal their relationship with money and upgrade their money mindset and transform their income and business. So I see a lot of women undervaluing their gifts and their talents, and I'm really passionate about helping women build successful businesses. So if you're on live, come and say hello. So yes, I'm also a single parent to one teenage son who leaves me in September. He's off to uni in September, and I have my fur baby as well, and she's here too. Oh, she's sitting quietly as well for a change. I'm also the host of the Work-Life Balance Secrets group and the owner of Jenny McCabe Coaching. And I offer one-to-one and also group coaching. So again, if you're on live, come and say hello. Tell us where you're based. You can, if you could, I can't speak now because I'm streaming through Restream. Please, if you want to see your comments, you'll need to grant Restream permission. The link is actually in the post. So today I have my guest with me, Karen Ince, and today we're going to be talking about the benefits of writing a book for your business. Now, this is something that I've thought about quite a few times, so writing a book. So I'm quite excited about having this conversation with you, Karen. So Karen, come and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became an author coach and what you do.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you for having me on your show today. I started back in the 90s. I did my first editing and proofreading course And although I wasn't particularly using it directly, I did a lot of writing in various jobs that I had. And I was always my colleague's go-to person to do their editing for them. And then gradually kind of developed a few job changes, life changes as it is. And I found myself getting more and more involved in the writing community.
Yeah.
And I'm a member of a couple of local writers' clubs. I have taught creative writing. I've done a lot of editing. I've edited pretty much every kind of document you can name, from a children's picture book to an expert witness testimony for a court case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really spotting quite a few typos in my workbooks on the challenge.
And what I discovered is that one area of editing that I really like is developmental editing. So this is an early stage feedback process to give pointers on how to develop usually a novel.
Yeah.
But I've done it for plays and I've done it for non-fiction.
Oh, wow.
So, and really help the writer see where they need to strengthen the plot or the characters or whatever it is. And also, I'm as a writer myself, and I've written fiction and non-fiction and plays. And my plays have been performed all over the world, and it's really yeah. So I also provide writing. Alongside that, I've had a lifelong passion for self-development. I have a degree in psychology, trained as a psychotherapist. I did my first life coaching course, and I think it was about 1998 or something. It was a freebie from the Open College. And I just kind of went one day, I have all these things and I'm actually doing this. Why don't I just do it properly and become an author coach?
Yeah.
And then over the last couple of years, what I've realized is that because I have a lot of business experience and business knowledge, and I've run my own business, I've worked in other people's businesses, actually helping business people to write their business book is really my niche.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, wasn't quite what I was expecting my niche to be, but I realized it was. So
sometimes you just fall into these things.
Because I realized it feeds into my expertise and knowledge, but also my passion, because I do believe that a well-written book is a fabulous tool.
Yeah.
And I know so many business people who say, oh, I'd love to write a book, but I don't know where to start. And I'm like, I can help you. Let me help you, please. So you, Jenny, let's get you on this. And so, I think it was a culmination of lots of different things. But what I've realized is that particularly for a business book, it's easy to apply business principles. Let's have a project plan. Let's treat this as a business project. Yeah. Get it done. Stop talking about.
In terms of writing books, would you say writing a business book is easier than writing a non-fictional book?
So I think every book has its challenges.
Yeah.
And every book has its joys.
Yeah.
And whether you're writing a fiction, a novel, whether you're writing a memoir, or whether you're writing your business book, it is going to challenge you. But we like challenges. If we're entrepreneurs, we like challenges. We eat them for breakfast.
Yes.
We don't have one. We don't know what we're doing with our lives. We need a challenge. So
I know that.
Okay, it's time for you to have this challenge now.
Well, actually, at the moment, my current project is I'm getting some mini courses put up on my site, so I'm in the middle of recording all of those. But maybe that is definitely one of my. That might be my next project.
And also very often, so what I will be saying to an author is, what other material have you got or would like to have? Because you can be writing a book if in your head you're thinking, but my next project, you're doing it the other way around, right? Still don't apply to you. But if you're in your head, you're thinking, well, my next project is I want to get some courses out.
Yeah.
Then I would be like, well, while you're writing the content for the book, you should have a separate document open where you're transferring, you're copying across, you're making bullet points. That's going to shortcut your course creation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I
could do it the other way.
Reinventing the wheel.
So I'll do it the other way, do my course, and I can start putting stuff into
a lot of that content. Will obviously you're not going to present it in the same way in a book.
No.
But some of the content will be the same. So while you're creating the content for your courses, whatever documents you're using to do that, you need to be okay. Yeah. We're putting that in book content as well. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I always think whatever you do, look at how you can kill two birds with one stone.
Well, I'm doing an ebook at the moment. A few, I'm doing mini courses and then turning them into ebooks as well. So, so maybe I will do a business book. So tell me, what are the benefits of writing a book for your business?
Okay. There are lots.
Yeah.
And you get benefits of actually the process of creating your book. So what I'm going to call process benefits. Catchy title. And then you get benefits from having the completed product, the thing that you can hold
the actual book in your hand. Yeah.
And so they're kind of like completed benefits, if you like. And so starting with what are some of the benefits that you get from the process of writing?
Yeah.
And part of it is about the planning process. So even before you've written a word, you should be planning. One of the things you should be planning is who is your ideal reader. This is really like your ideal client.
Yeah.
Thinking about that person, really honing down your message. Yeah. Every time we do an ideal client exercise, I'm sure other people have found this, you get another insight, or you think, oh, there's that other group of people.
Yeah.
Because most of us don't have one ideal client. I have about 3 or 4 ideal client avatars that I use. And so with an ideal reader, it's a little bit different, because now you're talking about, oh, maybe I'll write 3 or 4 books then.
Yeah.
Nothing to stop you doing that. Have a whole series. It's great.
So when you're writing your book then, so if you're writing it for your ideal client avatar, are you saying to write it for one ideal client avatar? Yeah.
And the reason that I'm saying that is because you have to make a lot of choices in how you write something. So in normal life, I'm quite informal and I like to write that way. So I will write, if I'm writing it under my own name.
Yeah.
I write for other people as well. So then I have to do other things. But anyway, my book would most likely say things like, oh, yeah, so when you do this, and it will sound like I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Right? That is a style choice.
Yeah.
Some of my client avatars would put the book down.
Right.
They don't want to be spoken to like that. And we know that in conversation, we adjust our language, we adjust the way we speak to fit the person that we're speaking to. Some people prefer a much more formal and measured type of conversation because that's their personality.
Yeah.
So you think about who you're writing it for. And of course, other people will pick it up and find it interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a case of, there's only 10 people in the world who fit my ICA.
Yeah.
So, why am I writing this book? It's like, no, you're writing it because if you try and write it for everybody, you will write it.
You write for no one. Yeah. So in terms of the style, as you said, doing it formal or informal, I personally would feel more comfortable writing it as I talk.
Yeah.
So what are you? Which you said there's nothing. Obviously, it's just it's a preference, but is that gonna?
But how would you talk?
difference on how,
how would you talk to that ideal client? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
Think about not how you talk when you're down the pub with your mates, right?
Yeah, not
how you talk when you're having a business conversation with that person.
Right. Okay.
Not when you're having a business conversation with me, because I'm really casual and laid back. So
yeah.
Okay. So that's the first thing. So it's really
I am writing notes.
That. But another thing that happens is you start really appreciating your own knowledge and expertise.
Yeah.
If you've spent 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, however many years, building up your knowledge and expertise, you tend to think, well, it's stuff that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Which is clearly not true, because they haven't been studying it. And it really makes you reevaluate and revalue yourself.
Yeah.
Which is great. And you go, blimey, I know a lot. I could fill 10 books.
Yeah.
Yes, because you've been doing this thing for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, so of course you know a lot.
Yeah.
So
I think sometimes you forget that you know all these things, don't you? So
they say one of the best ways of learning things is to teach it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing in writing a book. You are reaching out to teach people.
Yeah.
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 Another one is that, which we've already touched on, which is in the process of writing, you can already be thinking, well, I'm going to use some of this material in this way or that way.
Yeah.
So while you're thinking about the content of this chapter or this section, you're also thinking, hey, that section would make a great blog post, you know, or that you come up with like a stunning example for something. It's like, oh, I can use that in my marketing material. So the process of creating can be spun off into other directions. And also that process of trying to be clear, making sure you're jargon free, that there's no ambiguity, that you're explaining things from first principles, really improves your overall communication.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy for us, whatever our area, whatever our topic is, we kind of slip into some jargon, and we talk to other people in our industry and we get in a little bubble, and sometimes you just have to break out of that bubble and go and, you know, talk to the rest of the world. So it really helps you with framing your other communications as well. So if I sold you on the idea of doing this,
you have.
Forget the courses, just watch it. It's going to be good.
And of course, there's a quicker though for now.
Yeah. So in terms of what the benefit of having the actual book is, the obvious one is it positions you as an authority.
Yeah.
And it sets you up for being an expert in your field. And what's really interesting about that is that when you select your ideal target reader, so the first book that you write should be for the area you most want to be known for. You know, and if that's helping female entrepreneurs in their 20s, then put that in the subtitle. But that's your, you know, that's your target reader is a female entrepreneur in her 20s. And female entrepreneurs in their 50s will still find it interesting, and male entrepreneurs in whatever age group will also, you know, they'll all get benefit from it. But if you want to be known as the person who helps female entrepreneurs in their 20s, that's how you position it. So you can use your book as a calling card to open other doors. So you have this book. I think the best example I heard of this makes me laugh, is a guy who wrote his book, then decided that running a business wasn't for him and he wanted to go back into employment. Used it to get an interview and a job. But I've written this book. I'm an expert. You need to employ me. And they do.
Wow.
So it can open some surprising doors, some that you
definitely. That's quite a good way to use it, I suppose.
Well, if it works, why not? So
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, is it's not just as simple as people will read your book and then they want to become your client. It is about, you can use it in more creative ways.
Yeah.
Somebody I know uses his at networking events. So he doesn't give out business cards. He gives out signed copies of his book.
Oh, wow.
He's like, want to connect, blah, blah, blah. And the other person will be like, oh, yeah, let's exchange business cards. And he takes out a copy of his book, writes his phone number in it, writes it to the person. Here you are. Now or his email address or whatever it is. Now you know how to contact me.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wow. Can people love being given a book?
Nice. Yeah. Quite nice little freebie, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know loads of people who've used them as like giveaways at speaking events. So they'd be like, if you're organising an event, and I've been there, I've done that, and you've got 2 or 3 speakers who all cover more or less the same ground, so you've only kind of really got one slot and you've got to choose between which speaker gets that slot. And one of them says, I'll give a book to every member of the audience. You're like, oh, yeah, you've got it. I'm sorry, but, as an organizer, you want to give your audience the best possible value. And if they're going home with a free book in their goodie bag, they're going to go, that was a good event.
Yeah.
We didn't just get given a pencil.
Or hotel stationery.
I've been to, I'm sure you have, I've been to loads of events, and some of the goodie bags are great, and some of them are kind of like, I'm not even going to take that home. I'm just going to leave it on a chair.
Yeah, but a book you always take home, don't you?
Of course you do. Yeah.
You're not going to leave it in the hotel. It's a free book, of course.
No, and even better if the speaker's hanging around afterwards and you can go up and get your copy signed by the speaker.
Yeah.
So, there's lots and lots of ways like that where you can use your book indirectly as a positioning tool, as a marketing tool. Yeah. So a few others that I came across when I was thinking about this. Oh, yes. Imagine updating your profile pic on your favorite social media platform, whichever one it is. And instead of it just being you, happy, smiley or whatever, it's you with your book.
Yeah.
Your name on your book in your picture. And suddenly people are like, oh, she's written a book.
Yeah.
And I know people now with the prevalence of all the meetings being online. So, and I'm deliberately not in front of a bookshelf today, but they have a bookshelf behind them
with their books. Yeah.
And their books are not stacked, like that. They're out with the titles shown.
Yeah.
And then it's like everybody on the call can see you've got books in your name. They're right behind you. So all of those things, they're great. So the physical product. But even before that, going back to the process of writing.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to do some market research before you finish that chapter, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Talk about it on social media. I'm currently writing my next book. Might be your first book, but you can call it your next book. I'm currently writing my next book, and I've just wanted to get some opinions. And suddenly people are like, oh, it's for a book. Oh, I don't mind answering that question.
Yeah.
And you can even, I know people who have even got new clients before they've written the book.
Oh, wow.
On the basis of the fact they are writing a book.
It's amazing.
And they're talking about it. You can do votes for the cover. Get 3 different cover designs and then get people to vote on which one they like best.
Yeah.
You know, get your followers and your potential followers involved.
Yeah.
Much more likely to buy it when it comes out if they've been in some way, even in a tiny way, even though it's like a vote on a poll for which cover is best or which title is best, or you know, yeah, because they've got, you know, they've got skin in the game. I mean, it might only be a thumbprint, but it's they kind of feel more attached to it. They're more interested in it.
Yeah.
So there's so many things. I could go on forever. I probably will if you let me. So ask me a question. Get me off my soapbox.
So for somebody who wants to write a book, would you recommend, if somebody's new to their business, would you still recommend that they can write a book?
Yeah, absolutely. In a sense, if you're new to the business, it's a really, really good way of helping yourself to get established. If you think back to what I was saying about it, the process of writing the book helps you to really value and appreciate your own expertise.
Yeah.
In the case of somebody who is maybe a little bit unsure whether or not they have any expertise, well, we've all had those days. It's reassuring, but at the same time, it also will make them face their shortcomings. It'll make them say, oh, actually, I don't think I do know enough about that bit of the topic. Oh, I can do some research.
Yeah.
You know, we have the internet. You can do research. You can go out and ask prospective clients.
Yeah.
Locate the people you would like as clients and ask them, you know, what they think about it.
Yeah.
And that way you're upskilling yourself. You're making sure that your book is thoroughly researched and it's reputable and you are providing good, solid information. And you are still able to position yourself as somebody who knows what they're talking about. Because now you do, because you've done the research.
Yeah, because you've done the research. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I would say, even if you haven't even started your own business, if you're just thinking about it, maybe, you know, for a lot of people, they're in employment and we're increasingly feeling that employment may not be very secure, depending on what industry you're in, obviously. And they may be thinking about it, and they've maybe been thinking about it for a while. So they already have the ideas. They know what business they want to do.
Yeah.
They must already have at least some good amount of knowledge in that area, or they wouldn't be thinking about doing that as a business.
Yeah.
They'd be thinking of some other idea, or they'd be, you know, buying a franchise or something. So, but if you are thinking about you're setting up your own business, you already have some knowledge and experience in that subject area.
Yeah.
And putting it in a book is a really good way to consolidate it.
Yeah. It's going to help, isn't it?
And it's a good, you know, so from day one when you launch your business, it won't be Frida Smith, you know, launching this new business. It'll be Frida Smith, author of blah, 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 launches her new business.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, it's actually quite cool,
just think about that difference, you know.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she's not a newbie struggling to launch a business. She's an author launching something she already knows about. She knows about it because she's written a book about it.
Yeah.
So
that's great perspective, actually, because, you know, you quite often think, oh, I might need to be in my business for a bit longer to launch a book and all that kind of thing. So
and generally speaking, I would say the longer you've been in business and the more you've learned about it, probably the easier the writing will be.
Yeah.
But it's not It shouldn't be a barrier. It should just be okay, I might need to take a bit more time for research. I might need to think about this. The process might take a little bit longer, but if it's what you want to do, and you know, there are people who feel like they've got a book burning inside, that they're desperate to get it out into the world. And I'm like, yeah, then do it. You know, go for it.
Well, actually, you know, when you did the 5-day challenge, and we did
that was brilliant. That was so much fun.
Thank you. And we did the be do have.
Yeah.
You have goals. Actually, one of my goals in my B list is to be a published author.
Right.
So that is something that I did. That was from
the start today. In 6 months' time, you could be saying that.
Yeah. I've actually been doing, my ebook, and I was doing the intro. My intro. I'm just having which I've got so many tabs open.
Oh, I'm like that. I'm terrible.
Yeah, it's just doing my intro on the you know, the first few pages of the book. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing I actually have started doing things with the view of potentially putting it in a book. So yeah, that is really interesting. So in terms, I know we didn't talk about this we didn't say we were going to talk about this, but obviously so once you've got the book, it's going to be, you can use it in all of these wonderful ways to elevate your business. What other marketing way? I mean, you could obviously sell it on Amazon, and how do you publish it? Actually, that's what I was going to ask.
Okay. Great question, because there are so many choices.
Yeah, because you can go self-published, or you can be picked up.
Okay. So for a non-fiction book, for a business book, if you want to go down the route of being traditionally published, you don't have to write the whole book. Okay. Could be good news. You have to write a detailed proposal.
Yeah.
But I always get people to write detailed outlines anyway for their book, because it just really saves a lot of time and headache later if you do that. Because I'm a bit of a, you need a roadmap.
Yeah.
If you've got a roadmap, you know where you're going, you get there. If you know where you want to go, but you don't have a roadmap, could take you a long time. A lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
So if you want to be traditionally published with a non-fiction book, you write a detailed outline, you write a detailed proposal, and the proposal includes things like your credentials for being the right person to write this book. And it includes things like where you think the market is and the size of what you think the market might be.
Yeah.
It's not totally easy and straightforward, and traditional publishing can be quite lengthy. Yeah. So it could be, if there's a big if you submitted your query to an agent and they were like, I think this is great, I'd like to represent you next week, and then they've then got to sell it to an acquisitions editor or a publishing house, they will have a lot of contacts in the industry, but it might take 3 months before someone picks it up.
Yeah.
Then they
could have written it by then.
Contact with you, and then you have to do the writing, and then it goes through an editing process, and you do a rewriting, and then they eventually get around to publishing. 2 years.
2 years. Yeah, that's a long time,
is quite a good timetable. 3 years, possible 4 years.
Wow. So it's quite a long time.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of advantages to being traditionally published.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then there are kind of hybrid publishers, which I don't really want to go into because it just muddies the waters and it's very complicated. But so self-publishing, you then make choices for self-publishing. Are you going to publish ebook? Are you going to publish it as a physical printed book? Are you going to do both? If you're going to go ebook, are you only going to put it on Amazon as a Kindle, or are you also going to make it available to iBooks, Nook, Kobo, Google Books, whoever else? I can't, you know. And there are easy ways to do that. So there are companies like Smashwords and Lulu and Ingram Spark who will take your ebook and publish it everywhere except Amazon, and then you publish on Amazon Kindle as an ebook, right?
Yeah.
There's also all sorts of decisions to make around if you're publishing on Kindle. If you're publishing an ebook on Kindle and you're not publishing it anywhere else, then you can enter it into the Kindle Unlimited program. Kindle
Unlimited. It's a subscription, isn't it? Yeah.
But they won't accept it in there if you're also publishing it on iBooks and no going.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of decisions that you have to make.
Yeah.
And part of that is, where is your audience? Because if your audience is primarily in the Western world, you might as well just publish on Kindle, and not worry too much about the other platforms. But if your audience is primarily in other geographic parts of the world, then you definitely want to be looking at iBooks.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
You know, so that lots of choices, and every one you have to kind of have a little bit of a think about. If you're going to publish it as a physical entity, then you need to think about, again, you can do that on Amazon on a print on demand basis. You upload all the files, and if somebody wants to buy it, they print it and send it to them.
Oh, is that what they do?
And it's great. But if you want a lot of copies available for your own purposes, you're better off going and getting them printed at your local printer.
Okay.
Because there's a point at where, so if you want 20 copies, for example, last year I managed a complete publication process for somebody, and who only wanted 20 physical copies. Much cheaper for them to get print on demand from Amazon. And somebody else who wants 300 copies or 1,000 copies, they need to go to a printer and get those done.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's worth you just going on Amazon, as what we're saying, and ordering 50 copies of your own book. That you can.
I would say at 50 copies, you're probably better off using a printer.
Oh, right.
And then you run into the whole ISBN number thing.
Oh, what's that?
So the ISBN number, it's the barcode number on the back of the book.
Oh,
it's like a manufacturer's part number. For books. And they're a bit weird because you have to buy them. Although I believe in Canada they're free, but you have to buy them from the distributor for your country.
Oh, so they're
ISBN. ISBN,
that number. Right, okay.
So in the UK, the distributor is Nielsen's. I think in the US, it's Booker. So every country has a distributor. If you buy, if you choose to go down the route of putting an ISBN on your book, and there are reasons why you should, and there are reasons why you don't need to. But if you choose to go down that route, you are then under a legal obligation to provide, and I can only talk about the UK, you're under a legal obligation to provide 6 copies for free. One goes to the British Library. So your work is then held at the British Library.
Wow.
And the other 5 copies go to the other 5. They're called the legal deposit libraries. So there's one in Oxford University, Cambridge University. I think it's Edinburgh, Dublin, Cardiff, and Belfast. Or something.
Oh, right.
You just package them up and you send them to the legal deposit libraries in one package. So you have to know that because If you don't do that, you get into trouble. And every edition of your book has to have a different ISBN. So if you're doing a softback, like paperback, and a softback, and an audio book.
Oh, really?
Three different ISBNs. And if you update it and you have version 2, that's another ISBN. Oh. And the reason is because the ISBN is a unique identifier that's used by libraries and bookshops to order your book. So it has to be, they have to know what version of this book are we ordering.
Right. God, it's so interesting.
So much to know about it.
That's probably why, I think that's probably why it kind of puts people off. Maybe it's these things.
Yeah.
So how do you help, Karen? How do you help?
So I have like a package where I will take an author through from concept to finished product. I don't publish it for them because I am not a publisher, but I will help them with my knowledge about publishing to make the right decisions for them.
Yeah.
And because I don't believe in trying to be all things to all people. So I'm not going to publish their book for them, but I'll help them make the right decisions.
Yeah.
So that package is it's like a full service package, if you like. Mm. And then I also I call them power hours. So it's like it's a one-off 1 hour coaching session where we talk about whatever it is. So it might be you're stuck in the process, you've got writer's block, you don't know how to get past it. It might be that you can't decide who your ideal reader is, or it could be you can't niche down your topic. It could be simply talking about what are my publishing options. So what I would do is gather some information from the client before we have the coaching call, and then we spend an hour and we brainstorm the solution to whatever problem they're currently experiencing. And that's a one-off, so they can have one or more than one.
Do you help with the planning and strategy?
So in the full package, that's exactly what we do. We start from where are you? Where have you got to? Oh, I just got this idea that I might want to write a book. Or, well, I've had this idea for a while and I've got some notes and I've got the, wherever. So we start from wherever they are and then we go through the whole. And like I say, for a business book, you're planning it. It's a business project. So we do project planning before we do content planning.
Right. Yeah.
And then we do the whole process. And that package includes 10 1 hour one-to-one calls. Yeah. Which we space because it's one-to-one, because it's an individualized package. We space them according to how fast are they working. Yeah. So they might, for example, they might have 2 or 3 calls quite close together at the beginning. Yeah. And then they get more spaced out towards the end. Yeah. Or the other way around. Everybody's an individual. And that's why I like working one-to-one, because you get so much better result for the client.
Yeah. So if somebody was serious about writing a book and they put the time in, you think could be 6 months?
Yeah. I mean, that would be 6 months from starting the planning to holding a printed version of their book. And that would be, they would have to be really working at it. Yeah. But, I mean, they wouldn't have to give up the day job. You can fit it in around a busy schedule. Yeah. But you have to be consistent. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you help with paragraphing and proofreading and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that 6 months includes a couple of periods of several weeks while the book is in somebody else's hands. It's really scary, but an essential part of the process. Yeah. If what you want is a really, really good top quality book, okay. Yeah. And so during those periods, what are you doing? You are working your marketing plan. That's what you're doing. So that's why I say it's a project plan. It's like a Gantt chart, with things that overlap.
Oh, that's fab. So where can people find you, Karen?
Well, so they can find me, obviously on LinkedIn. I have my profile up. They can find me on my website, which is mrswrite.co.uk. So that's MRSWRITE.co.uk, Mrs. Wright. They can find my Facebook page, which is Mrs. Wright on Facebook. And I've also got a brand new 8-day-old Facebook group, which is a free group. It's really young.
Yeah, that's really cute.
It's a little baby group.
Yeah, when you said you've got Facebook group, it's quite new. I didn't realise it was like really new.
Yeah, really that new. It's a free group, and it is there specifically to support people who are thinking about or are in the process of writing their business book. And the group is called Business Authority, but the author, AUTHOR, at the beginning of authority is all in capital letters.
Okay.
Because it is about you being a business author and positioning yourself as a business authority.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to join that group.
Yay!
Some inspiration.
Great to have you there.
Yeah.
And I mean, anybody who's listening in to this recording. Oh, and I'm also on Twitter. So you can find me on Twitter as Mrs. Wright 2, I think it is, at Mrs. Wright 2.
So is that the number 2?
And Mrs. Wright on Twitter, at Mrs. Wright 2 on Twitter. Would love some new followers if any of you are on Twitter. Because Twitter can be a lonely place.
I know. Well,
I do tweet. I'm really nerdy because I tweet writing jokes.
I'll follow you on Twitter. I'll follow you on Twitter. That's one platform I'm a bit sporadic on myself. I've got my VA back, so she was ill, so she's back, and she's going to be on Twitter doing my posts as well soon.
Oh, brilliant!
So yeah, so I'll probably.
So I'll do a follow back.
Hang on, Mrs. Wright, the number 2.
Yes. Yeah, because apparently Mrs. Wright was already taken.
Yeah, is it that one?
I don't know. It'll have my logo, which is a woman's head and a pen nib rolled into one.
Yeah, got it.
Really clever logo. I love my logo.
There we go. Yeah. Right, I'm following you. I'll join your group as well.
Hey! Well, it'll be lovely to see you there.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Karen. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
It's been brilliant.
I could just talk books all day, as you've noticed. So,
like I said, it is something that I have thought about. And one of the things I was thinking about this year was doing a podcast. Starting a podcast. I guess you can't do it all, but either starting a podcast or maybe writing a book. Either one, but I think possibly writing a book would be.
Do the book.
Yeah, because I do the live, I do other things.
Yeah. You don't need a podcast as well.
Well, I'd like one.
But do the book, because a podcast is forever. It's not, It's
yeah. Well, actually, that might be.
Podcast is not dead for Christmas, Jenny. Right. Yeah. Write a book, get it done, get it published, then do the podcast.
Yeah, that could be a good strategy, actually. Because I could talk about my book on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, in my book, I do say this in my book. Yeah, actually, that's a lot of content.
Yeah, right? You see, that's what I mean. You talk about it. You talk about your book on social media.
Yeah, yeah.
In chapter 3 of my book, I discuss exactly that segment.
Yeah, you can pick it up on Amazon. Brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Karen. It's been
thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Thank you. I love having guests on. Always good to have a chat. Go live, have a chat. So thank you everyone for joining us either on the either live or on the replay. Let us know what your takeaways are. So drop some comments in the post below, and I'll be back next Tuesday, which I think is the 29th, isn't it? 29th? Wow, 29th of June. Going into July next week. Wow. Wow.
And it still feels like December. It's really
oh my goodness. I know. You know what? Yesterday was solstice, and I heard, 21st, and I heard that actually yesterday was cooler than the winter solstice on the 21st of December. I was like, what?
Well, I'm just going to go stand on my head in a corner then.
We're having warmest solstice. We had our warmest solstice in December.
Yeah.
I think that's what they said, or was it the spring one? The solstice,
spring equinox.
The equinox.
Yeah.
So I think, or maybe it was the spring solstice. It was warmer than it was today. Yesterday. I'll have to double check that, or was it the equinox? I'm pretty sure they said December.
So December and June are the solstice, and then March and September are the equinox.
Equinox, yeah. So it was the solstice then. So it's December. So it was warmer in June, in December than it was in June.
Wow.
Overnight. There you go. Okay, I'm going to sign off because I do have a client at 6.
We did.
Yeah.
A bit. Sorry.
It's in the US. It's fine. Based in the US, so I do work a bit later for my USA clients because they're obviously, depending on their time zone, they're 5 or 7 hours behind, or 8 hours, or whatever it is. So I do have to work a little bit more, but it's been fab having you on, Karen. I've really enjoyed it, and
thank you.
We'll be. I'm following you, so we'll be in touch anyway.
Take care.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.
And bye to everybody who's watching.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.